Alright guys, so it is officially the month of Ramadan, and a lot of y'all are probably out there worried about losing all the progress that you've made over the past few months. You're probably worried about losing all the muscle or even gaining fat during this month. So I'm going to give y'all the top dieting and training tips that I have for the month of Ramadan to help you either maintain or gain muscle or even maintain or lose the amount of body fat that you have. Now, before we actually get into the tips, I wanted to actually touch base on what Ramadan is for those of you who are not familiar with the month. It is going to be an Islamic month where from sunrise to sunset, you're going to be fasting and you cannot consume food or water. Now, thankfully, this year, Ramadan is actually being placed towards the summertime. So a lot of y'all are probably being already in a caloric deficit, which means you're consuming less food during the day. So it will be easier to actually consume the amount of food you need during the eating window from sunset to sunrise. But if you are still trying to be in a caloric surplus, it is going to be harder for you, but you just want to make sure that you actually eat that number because you don't want to lose weight if you're trying to be in a surplus. Now, the first thing I would recommend is you need to make sure that you have the correct macros, which I have an entire video on that, and I'll just link it in the description of how to calculate your macros for whatever your bodybuilding goals are, whether you want to be in a cut or in a bulk. But when you're going to calculate your amount of food, make sure that you actually choose the higher protein value, trying to get as much protein as you can, targeting from 1 to 1.25 grams per body weight. Now, this is because during this time frame, you're going to be depleting your body of nutrients, and you really want to focus on eating as much protein as possible. That way you maintain as much of the muscle mass as you can. Now, I also do recommend that you're going to be weighing yourself every single day and try to get a weekly average. This is because you want to make sure that you're actually progressing by whether or not you're trying to lose or gain weight. And this way, your body will fluctuate from day to day. So getting the weekly average will give you a more accurate representation of how your body is being affected by this month. Now, a lot of people do have this negative connotation during the nighttime that, oh, I've been dieting all day, so let me just go ahead and binge eat. And it's just the wrong mentality. During the nighttime, whenever you have the ability to eat, you do want to focus on eating high nutrient foods because you're being depleted for almost 12 to up to 18 hours, just depending on where your time zones are and how long you're actually going to be in that fast period. So when you're in this time frame, when you're allowed to eat in your eating window, focus on eating lean meats, rice, sweet potato, things that will actually give you the nutrients to keep you moving and running around during the day. Because if you just end up spending your night just binge eating on desserts and unhealthy items, you're not going to give your body the nutrients you need, and it'll actually be harder for you the next day whenever you're in your fasting period. Now, another really important thing is you have to consume as much water as you can. You want to make sure at nighttime you're drinking so much water. You want to drink it before you eat, after you eat, when you're just hanging around. Drink water because your muscles are, for majority of people, are going to be around 70% water. And when you're depleting yourself all day of water, your body is going to essentially kind of deflate and you'll look flat. So you want to make sure you're getting that nutrients and the actual water intake that you need at night whenever you have the ability to eat. So training during the month of Ramadan is going to be pretty difficult for a lot of you guys because you do want to avoid being catabolic as much as you can. Which, those of you who are not familiar with the term catabolic, it is essentially whenever your body breaks down your muscle and uses that protein and the amino acids as your energy source throughout your workout or just during the day in general. So you want to avoid this as much as possible because you don't want to be breaking down your muscle. You want to try and maintain as much of it as you can. Now, the best thing to do while working out is you want to, one, decrease the intensity, because going and working out really intensely and like having only 30 to 45-second rest times is going to be really difficult during this time frame because you don't have any nutrients in your body, especially during that fasting period, and you don't have as much water as you would usually do during like regular weeks whenever you're not during this month of Ramadan. So you want to decrease the intensity and allow yourself more rest time if you need it, because you don't want to pass out in the middle of the gym because that would just be really awkward. This month of Ramadan, you really want to focus on compound movements and lift as heavy as you can, because you want to make your body believe that you need this muscle because you're actually consistently going through and putting it under a heavy load. So your body's going to get the message saying, oh, I can't break down this muscle because he's constantly going down and put it under a heavy load and making it really difficult. So that way your body's going to see it as, oh, I need to maintain this muscle and try to use other sources such as fat to break down and use that as energy, since I'm not consuming food, to actually use that as my energy source during my workout. Now, as far as the best times to work out during Ramadan, it is going to be during that eating window, which is depending on where you live is when the sun is going to set. But whenever the sun sets and you break your fast, you do want to try to get a workout in probably an hour or an hour and a half afterwards if you can. That will be the best time, because that way you'll have some nutrients in your body and be able to use that as fuel to actually work out and get a good workout during that night time. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't have the luxury of just being able to go work out directly after having their time frame of when they broke their fast. So another really good time to go is going to be whenever you wake up early for breakfast, which is going to be right before sunrise. Now, you want to go and eat a really dense and high protein and high carb breakfast, because you want to have a good amount of nutrients for one throughout the day, but also if you decide to work out an hour or so afterwards, you'll still be able to have a lot of energy and a lot of food to drive you during that workout. So another time frame that's probably going to be the most difficult, but I would recommend it, is going to be right before you break your fast. Now, this is because, yes, you're going to be really tired from already fasting throughout the entire day, but then when you work out and then right after it's sun sets, you have the ability to actually replenish your muscles directly after your workout. So this way you won't be that catabolic. You'll be able to actually maintain or even build muscle during those 3 time frames if you are doing it correctly and focusing on lowering your intensity and also lifting heavy. But if you can't, just really focus on trying to get it as close as you can to either the breakfast eating window, which is eating before sunrise, or whenever you break your fast at night, and you'll be good to go. All right, thank you guys so much for watching the video, and hopefully you'll be using these dieting and training tips to help you progress during this month rather than go back and lose all the progress that you've made. And if you found this helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. It will mean a lot, and it really does help the channel grow. So I'll see y'all in the next one.